Okay, my loves, I have something game-changing to share with you. We are going back to the original topic of decluttering, and we're merging it with everything that I've learned over the past few years with neurolinguistic programming and neuroenergetic encoding, the subconscious mind, all of these amazing things. So, if you have been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, exhausted, I'm hosting a free live session that's going to bring you so much freedom. I'm calling it Declutter for Abundance: How to Create Space for More Money, More Energy, and More Alignment. And no, this is not just about like the home. We are talking about clearing energetic blocks that are draining you in the core 4 areas of your life. Physical clutter, so the shit that's suffocating your space and your energy. Mental clutter, so all those spiraling thoughts that keep you up at night, overthinking, all the things. 3, emotional clutter, so guilt, shame, resentment that's weighing you down. And number 4, schedule clutter, so overcommitting, people pleasing, wasting time on shit that just doesn't matter. We are taking a look at all of it and we are clearing it all. So join me live. This is happening on March 4th. It'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're going to learn how to make space for more money, energy, and alignment in your life. This is going to be a really deeply impactful, shifting conversation, shifting time. I'm going to be live with you, so we can be doing chat, hot seats, whatever comes up. I am there to support you. Also, when you sign up, so just signing up for this free session, you are automatically going to get sent the clutter clearing blueprint. It's going to get sent straight to your inbox right after you sign up for this free session. So you can actually start clearing chaos today before we even go live. So you don't have to wait for March 4th. I do not want you to miss this. This is the stuff that changes lives, okay? So go to allycasazza.com/sessions and get your spot now. I said that weird. allycasazza.com/sessions, SESSIONS. And I can't wait to see you there. Go get your spot. Hello, welcome back to our series here on The Purpose Show. Another quick disclaimer: this series is for adult ears only. You should know that just by seeing the title. But we're using adult words. We're talking about adult themes. This is not intended for little ears at all. We're not trying to cause confusion or fear in our young loved ones. We are having serious conversations for our ears only. So headphones in or pause and listen to this later, because I'm going to be saying some things and I don't want to hear any complaints about it because I warned you. Okay. So we have started this new pussy series. We are in part 2. In part 1, we talked about your body, their rules, and really just how we got here, what's going on. My birth experiences, like we really got into that, and it was very vulnerable for me, and I appreciate you all holding space for that. Now, episode 2, we're going to talk about how we went from sacred to shameful and the era of control. And we're going to go way back. So before patriarchy reshaped history, women were not just included in society, they were its foundation. Their bodies were not something to control or dismiss, but something sacred, a direct line to creation itself. Revered as fuck, okay? Think about it. Just about every ancient civilization honored the feminine in some major way. Women were not seen as weak, as lesser, or in need of managing. Instead, they were the embodiment of life force, of wisdom, of power. Okay? In ancient Egypt, Isis was not just a goddess, she was the goddess. She represented motherhood, healing, magic, fertility, and the literal power to create life. Her worship was widespread, and Egyptian society respected women far more than later civilizations did, okay? Women were able to own property, run businesses, inherit wealth, and even practice medicine. Now really think about that. In one of the most powerful civilizations in history, women were doctors. And compare that to today, where women's health is still an afterthought in medical research. But then as societies moved away from honoring the feminine, the scales shifted. The Greeks saw Gaia, the earth itself, as a goddess. The land was female. The seasons, the cycles, birth, death, it was all tied to women, and they saw that, recognized it, and respected it. Demeter, I never know if I'm saying her name right, or Demeter, whatever, the goddess of the harvest. She controlled the abundance of food. Persephone, her daughter, represented the cycles of life and rebirth. The feminine was not just a part of existence, it was existence. It was the source of existence, and it was existence itself. But even in Greece, where goddesses were revered, the foundation for male control was beginning to form. Women were increasingly pushed to the background. Their power was mythologized, not actualized. In Hinduism, the yoni, the symbol of the vagina, was seen as a sacred portal of life. It wasn't something to be hidden, ashamed of, or degraded. It was literally worshipped. Temples dedicated to Shakti, the divine feminine energy, still exist today with the, I don't want to say it wrong, but the lingam yoni symbolizing the balance of masculine and feminine energy. Contrast this with today, where the very word pussy is used as an insult. It was once divine and powerful, and it's now been reframed as weak and dirty. It's not an accident. It's not by accident. There were so many indigenous cultures before colonization twisted everything up and really fucked up their structure, where they were matriarchal, or at least deeply masculine and feminine balanced. Women were the medicine keepers, the healers, and often they were the decision makers as well. Okay? There is a confederacy called, and I am acting like white as fuck right now, but I'm going to try to pronounce it. The Iroquois Confederacy. We're just going to blow past it. But is one of the oldest democracies in the world, and it was deeply, deeply influenced by women. They had these clan mothers, and they held the power. They had the power to choose the male leaders. There were so many Native American and First Nations tribes that respected women as the spiritual and emotional backbones of their people. Women's roles in healing and birth were extremely sacred. They were not something to be managed or watched over or suppressed. They trusted women. They allowed women to be in their feminine power. So what the hell happened? How did we go from being worshipped to being dismissed, abused, and controlled? It all goes back to a fear of female power. When you control creation, when you control healing, and when you control wisdom, you have power. And patriarchy hates anything that it cannot dominate. So they burned the wise women. They erased the history. They rewrote the narrative. Midwives, herbalists, and women who understood the body were labeled witches. The burning times, which was, the witch hunts in Europe and America, they were not random. They were systemic persecution of women who had knowledge. These women were the doctors of their time, and they were exterminated to make way for male-dominated medicine. We talked about birth in episode 1, and I want to kind of circle back to that topic because once upon a time, birth was a natural, female-led, beautiful experience. When I read about it, it feels like holy. Women helped other women deliver babies. There was no intervention. There was no forcing. There was no clock ticking against them. But then birth was taken out of the home and put into hospitals, which there is some sense there. I understand that. Again, we're not trying to get all riled up about things that don't matter. We're focusing on the parts of this that do matter. Midwives were demonized and replaced by male doctors. Women's voices in birth were silenced. And this is why so many of us have traumatic birth stories like the ones that I shared in our last episode. The modern medical system wasn't built for us. It was built to control us. And I stand 10 toes on that shit. The moments that I was most praised during my births, when I was silent, when I did what I was told, and when I ignored my instincts, when I was a compliant little pushover, when I was a good girl and not in like a fun hallway. The times that I pushed back, I was met with resistance, I was dismissed, and they were condescending as fuck to me. And that is not an accident. It is history repeating itself. Another thing that's played a massive role in this war on women is religion. Goddesses have been erased. Eve was to blame for the fall of man, fall of everybody. Women's bodies were labeled sinful, dirty, dangerous. And think about modesty culture and purity culture. The idea that your body is a problem that must be covered up, hidden, and controlled, that's not at all toxic or harmful. Where did that come from? Not nature, not spirituality. It came from patriarchal fear and control. And if you think that this is just history, it's not. The same suppression of women's health, bodies, and power is happening right now, okay? It didn't even end back when I was having my babies, because my youngest at the time that I'm recording this is 10. This is right now, and you'd have to be a fucking idiot to not see it. And I'm sorry, but offense intended, okay? Women's pain is ignored, and science proves it. Studies show that women have a higher pain tolerance than men, yet we are given less pain medication, dismissed more often, and told we're overreacting. So we have a higher pain tolerance, and that's proven. But when we are communicating like, hey, I'm not okay, we're being dramatic. Women wait longer in emergency rooms for treatment than men. That pisses me the fuck off. Our bodies are still not taken seriously, and they are still not even treated as our own. Most medical studies are conducted on male bodies. Women's bodies are still considered an exception to the norm. Heart attacks present differently in women than men, but most research is based on male symptoms. So women's heart attacks are misdiagnosed at higher rates. Endometriosis, PCOS, both of which I've experienced, and reproductive disorders, they are barely researched. There are no real solutions, just a deal with it attitude. Any solutions that they do offer are actually more harmful than helpful. Women are half the population. Why is women's health still considered niche? Why is it still treated like a side topic? Birth control side effects, totally normalized. Menopause care, non-existent, basically non-existent. Hormonal health, an afterthought. They have spent centuries conditioning us to believe that our bodies are a problem so they can keep controlling, profiting, and dismissing us. This is not a conspiracy, my loves. This is history, and this is present. And if we don't start speaking up, fighting back, and demanding change, the cycle is going to continue. We need to do this for our daughters and granddaughters and the future of women. So what? Educate yourself. Learn your body. Learn its history. Advocate for yourself. Ask the hard questions. Be a problem. Demand better care. Ruffle some feathers, okay? Wake up. The war on women's bodies is still happening, but we are not powerless. Because what do they fear the most? A woman who knows her shit and stands in her power and refuses to give it away. I wish I could go back to young, becoming a mother Allie and just hug her and give her a pep talk and educate her. But babe, a woman who knows her power, stands in it, and doesn't give it away, that's exactly what you're becoming. That's exactly what we're here to do. We're becoming her, and that is a part of her. Okay. When we talk about medical control, we have to talk about the brutal history of women's bodies being used for science without their consent. And that's what we're going to get into in the next episode. And it's going to be uncomfortable. There's going to be pain, but it's imperative that you listen. It's imperative. And then in episode 4, our final of the series that I know of right now so far, always happy to do more, we're going to really talk about a reclamation of pussy. All right. Thank you so much. Again, please share. Please be brave enough to share this. Take a screenshot, tag it, encourage people to buckle up and listen. Let's spread this awareness and to have this conversation. Women, we need each other. We need this. Tag me on Instagram, send it to a friend, share the link, share the image, share it on your social stories. Thank you so much for standing with me in this and sharing and helping. I love you so much. I'll see you in episode 3 of this series.